Hey guys, Brian Hilliard here, author of the best-selling book, Networking Like a Pro, and creator of the popular program, How to Get More Paying Clients from Free Talks Without Being Pushy or Salesy. Now today we are going to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is getting more paying clients from a free presentation, because I don't know about you guys, but this is something that I was struggling with for a while. I started my own coaching practice and speaking in 2001, and I was going out and speaking for free, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're going out, you're getting the word out, you're letting people know what's going on and all of that, but here was the problem I was running into. Maybe you are as well. I was going out doing a great job. People were telling me, oh, you're doing a great job. I was getting great reviews. People were talking about, how good the content was. People are taking notes. They're talking to the meeting organizers. Everything was great except for the fact that I didn't get any paying clients. I always tell people the mortgage doesn't pay for itself, and neither does a 5-star review. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, geez, what do I need to do in order to actually get paying clients? Because here's what I don't want to do, and maybe you're in this boat too. I did not want to come across as a 30-minute infomercial. Right? Like, I'm not trying to be this guy who's like, oh, buy, and just keep buying and blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that. So what I wanted to do was talk a little bit about what you can do to turn these free talks into paying clients, and obviously generate some paying clients from these engagements. And it's real easy. This is a formula that I put together. Educate, entertain, plus a clear offer equals paying clients. Yes, sir. Educate, entertain, plus a clear offer equals paying clients. Now, we're not going to get into all of this here today, but let me unpack one of the areas here, which is this educate and entertain. Sometimes people, they say to me, well, Brian, when I do a presentation, don't I have to give good content and good stuff? That's implied. That's assumed. Obviously, yes, you do. If that's the case, when that's the case, what you really want to be looking at is how educating and entertaining were you, all right? And one of the ways that you can do this, there's a few, okay? But one of the ways that we'll talk about here today telling stories. Now, I have to tell you, this was an area that I struggled in. I was like, telling stories. I mean, I'm supposed to be giving people good content. Why telling stories? Okay, so let's get the mental side on this, a little mindset. The reason why you want to tell some stories just in general is because different people learn differently, right? Like, you might not be the type of person that learns from stories. I'm actually probably not either. I like to learn from facts and analogies and comparisons, insights, thinking, but people are different, right? Not everyone's the same as me, are they? There are people in your audience who are going to learn from a story. Not so much the technique per se, but they're going to see the technique in action. So let me give you an example. So one of the things that I talk a lot about is being able to go out and obviously have a clear, consistent marketing message for your speaking. That's a big part of my game. I tell people that all the time. You need to have that. That's also a big part for transitioning over to paying clients, separate conversation. So I was talking to a client friend of mine, and she was like, boy, I'm really struggling with getting paying clients. And I was like, well, tell me a little bit about your situation. She's like, well, I'm doing this, I'm going out, I'm getting good reviews, blah, 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 but I'm not, really translating that into paying clients. I said, all right, are you, when someone asks you what it is that you do, what do you say? And she's like, oh, well, I just tell them I'm a coach. I said, you don't say anything more than that? She's like, no, I don't know. I tell them I'm a life coach, transformational coach, that's what I tell them. I said, okay, here's the issue. What's happening is people, when you tell them that you're a coach, what's happening is they're thinking about it in a box. They're putting you in a box, and they're putting you in this idea with no preconception of who you actually are, but a preconception of others they've met, okay? And now you're just being put in there, and they've already made the decision whether to work with you or not based on that preconception, not based off of you. She's like, oh, okay. So I said, what we need to do is we need to create an actual marketing message that will help you be successful, and from there, that will help you educate and entertain, and obviously get more paying clients. And she's like, oh, okay. You see how I told a story? That was my story. By the way, that specific story was not true. I just made that up. Just so. Okay, but you see, I just told a story. Okay, so telling stories, I like to, my brother does a lot of, I shouldn't say he does a lot. Well, he does a lot of teaching. My brother, he actually has set plays. I do, stories that kind of come up during the discussion, and that's fine. That's fine. He does, he actually has jokes. I try to tell some jokes too, be a little funny. He has set plays for those. So he'll have actual jokes that he knows going in that that's what he wants to use. Great. I would recommend, if you haven't done a story, come up with a couple of client stories, preferably client stories that let people know, you know what, this is what I'm all about. And it shows you solving a problem based off of a point that you just made during the presentation. Okay? That will fall into that educate and entertain. That will lead you ultimately to more paying clients. And as a matter of fact, feel free to like, share, or comment below. I love to hear all of your comments. I answer them personally. Love to hear what you guys have to say. But in the meantime, my name is Brian Hilliard saying so long, take care, and thanks so much for your time.